Deep space was silent. No stars moved, no ships traveled through this dark and forgotten area of the galaxy. For centuries, this region was known by one name among alien races, the Silent Zone. No one entered it. No one returned from it. Every race believed the same thing. This place was cursed. But on this day, a small exploration ship from the Vorlax Empire broke the rule. The silver-blue ship, called VNX-47, slowly entered the Silent Zone, its engines humming softly. Inside the ship, Captain Xylar stood at the command deck, eyes fixed on the dark space ahead. His skin had a smooth blue-gray texture, and two small horns rose from his head. He was a calm and intelligent leader, known for his curiosity. "Commander Rith," Xylar said, "report. Are our scanners working?" A tall officer with bright green eyes replied, "Yes, Captain." "Scanners active, but something is strange." Xylar turned toward him. "Explain." Rith swallowed. "We are receiving a signal, a very old one. It is coming from ahead, from the heart of this zone." The crew exchanged nervous looks. A young crew member whispered, "No one should be here. Who would send a signal from this place?" Xylar kept his voice steady. "Put the signal on speakers." A moment of static filled the room, then everyone heard it. A slow, repeating distress call. The language was unknown, broken, almost like a whisper calling for help. "Captain, the message is over 70 years old," Rith added. "The sender could be long gone." Xylar took a deep breath. "We came here to learn the truth of this zone. Set course toward the signal. Approach with caution." The ship moved forward deeper into the darkness. The stars around them seemed to fade. The deeper they went, the thicker the silence became. Even the sound inside the ship felt quieter, as if space itself was watching them. After 2 long hours, the ship's pilot Vera gasped, "Captain, I have visual contact. I think it's a warship." Everyone rushed to the main screen. Floating ahead was a massive, dark grey warship, silent, motionless. It had long metal wings and strange weapon ports. Multiple scars and burns covered its hull. It looked like it had survived a great battle. On its side, faded letters were still visible. HSS Valkyrie. Xylar frowned. HSS... I do not know this language. Is this ship Vorlax? Xarin? Kroll? Rith shook his head. "None of our records match. This ship belongs to an unknown race." The crew stared at the giant silent warship. Something about it felt wrong, like it was not only empty, but waiting. Xylar made a decision. "Prepare a boarding team. We will explore the ship." The crew looked frightened, but Xylar's authority was strong. Soon, a small group of 6 Vorlax soldiers in dark armor left their ship and crossed to the strange warship through an energy bridge. The moment they entered the Valkyrie, the air felt cold. Their boots echoed in the silent metal corridors. Flickering lights illuminated walls, marked with burn holes and scratches. It looked like the crew fought until their last breath. "This ship feels haunted," whispered one of the soldiers. Captain Xylar ignored the comment. "Keep scanning. Look for survivors or data." They walked deeper inside. They passed through a hall with strange chairs and screens. The design was different from any known race. Sharp lines, strong metal, built for war. Even in silence, the ship felt powerful. Rith studied a control panel. "Their technology, yeah, Captain, it is far ahead of ours. The metal used for this ship is unknown. Their power systems are very advanced." "How advanced?" Xylar asked. Rith hesitated. "At least 200 years beyond us." The crew froze. A young race should not have ships this strong. It made no sense. Suddenly, a low hum vibrated through the ship. Everyone stopped walking. The lights above them flickered and slowly turned on, one after another, lighting the hallway in a soft glow. The soldiers raised their weapons in fear. "No one touched anything." "Who activated the power?" one shouted. Before anyone could answer, a calm voice echoed through the hallway. A human voice, Smooth, but with a hint of warning. Unknown visitors, step away from the reactor. You are entering restricted areas of the Valkyrie. Zyla's heart raced. Identify yourself. There was a short silence. Then the voice spoke again. You are inside a human warship. You do not have permission to access this section. Leave, or this ship will wake up. The soldiers looked at one another. Human. What species is that? I've never heard of humans, Vera whispered. Zyla tried to stay calm, but his hands trembled slightly. Whoever was speaking sounded confident. Not afraid, he cleared his throat. We do not wish to harm you. We only received your distress call, the voice replied, this time colder. That message was not for you. The lights behind the group suddenly shut off, leaving only the path ahead lit, as if guiding them. Captain, something is controlling the ship, Rith whispered. Zyla spoke carefully. If you can hear me, show yourself. A soft hum filled the room. A blue light appeared. Then a human-shaped hologram formed in front. Of them, a young woman with short hair, dressed in a military uniform with the Valkyrie emblem on her chest. Her eyes glowed faintly. She looked at each of them with calm, sharp focus. I am Astra, guardian of this warship. She didn't look afraid of them. In fact, she looked like she was warning them. Before Zyla could speak, Astra lifted her hand slightly. The floor shook. Do not go near the reactor again. If you do, the Valkyrie will defend itself. And with those words, the lights snapped off again, leaving the aliens in darkness. For a moment, the darkness inside the Valkyrie felt alive. The Vorlax boarding team stood still, their eyes searching the shadows. Only the soft breathing of the soldiers filled the silence. Then, emergency lights slowly glowed again, dim red this time, like the heartbeat of a sleeping beast. Captain Zyla raised a hand. Stay close, no sudden movements. The hologram woman, Astra, appeared again, standing at a distance. Her expression was calm, controlled, and unreadable. She did not blink. You are not authorized to explore this ship, Astra said. State your intentions. Zyla spoke clearly. We received a distress call from this location. We believed someone needed help. We came to provide aid. Astra tilted her head slightly. Aid? From the Vorlax Empire? Curious. Your race is not known for rescuing strangers. The soldiers exchanged uneasy looks. How did she know about the Vorlax? How much information did she have? Zyla forced a polite tone. We mean no harm. We are peaceful explorers. Astra's eyes narrowed. Peaceful explorers do not carry weapons into another ship. She nodded toward their guns. The Vorlax soldiers slowly lowered their weapons, but did not let go. No one trusted the situation. Zyla asked, What happened to the crew of this vessel? Are any humans alive? Astra did not answer immediately. Her projection flickered as if she was thinking. The Valkyrie was part of a defensive mission, she finally said. We faced an enemy beyond your understanding. The crew paid a high price. Zyla stepped closer. Are there survivors? Astra's expression remained blank. Maybe. That single word made everyone tense. Commander Rith whispered, This hologram, she speaks like she is alive. Zyla ignored him, keeping his eyes on Astra. If there are survivors, we can help. Astra looked at him for a long moment, studying him deeply as if measuring his honesty. You want to help, she said softly. Very well, but understand this, the Valkyrie does not trust easily. A door behind her slid open with a deep, metallic sound. Light spilled into a corridor ahead. Follow, Astra said. With caution, Zyla signaled his team to move. They followed Astra through the long hallway. The ship was quiet, but not dead. It felt like the metal walls were listening. They passed through rooms filled with strange equipment and machines the Vorlax had never seen. Rith scanned everything rapidly, his eyes wide. This technology. "It is beyond anything in our records," he whispered. "I cannot read half of it." Xylar whispered back, "Scan quietly. Do not provoke her." Astra stopped at a large door with a glowing hand symbol. "Before we continue, you must understand the truth," she said. "The Valkyrie did not fall in battle. It survived by sacrifice. Humans will do anything to protect others, even when the universe thinks they are weak." The Vorlak soldiers looked at each other. Races in the galaxy respected power, not sacrifice. Astra placed her hand on the glowing symbol. The door unlocked with a heavy hiss and slid open. Inside was a large chamber filled with cryopods, long glass tubes with frost covering them. The room was freezing. Their cold breath formed mist in the air. Xylar stared. "What are these?" Astra answered. "Cryosleep pods, a method humans use to survive long travel or to escape death for a time." Rith moved toward one pod and wiped the frost from the glass. His eyes widened. Inside, a human soldier slept, still in uniform. A muscular figure with scars, a breathing mask and a symbol on his armor, the same Valkyrie emblem. Xylar stepped closer. "He is alive." Astra nodded. "Many are. The humans who remain are warriors. They will not welcome intruders." The Vorlak's team felt a chill, not from the room, but from the warning. Suddenly, beep, beep, beep. One of the cryopods began glowing. Internal systems activated. Frost cracked. The human inside twitched. "Captain," a soldier whispered, voice shaking. "One of them is waking up." Astra did not look surprised. "You entered the Valkyrie. She responded. The human crew will awaken to defend their home." The pod opened with a sharp burst of cold air. A human soldier sat up, gasping. His eyes scanned the room, confused and alert. His voice was rough but strong. "Astra, status report." Astra replied instantly, "You are safe, Sergeant Cole, but we have visitors." Cole's eyes locked onto the Vorlak soldiers. He jumped to his feet, moving with trained speed. He pulled a weapon from the cryopod wall, a compact gun the Vorlaks did not recognize. The Vorlak soldiers raised their weapons out of instinct. Xylar shouted, "Do not fire!" Cole pointed his weapon at them, breath sharp and cold. "Identify yourselves now." Xylar slowly raised his hands to show peace. "We mean no harm. We are explorers. We found your signal." Sergeant Cole looked at Astra. "Is this true?" Astra nodded. "Yes, they found the distress call meant for the Alliance. Decades too late." Cole lowered his gun slightly, but his eyes stayed sharp. "How long was I sleeping?" he asked. Astra paused. 72 years. Cole's face changed. Shock, pain, then anger. "We lost." "Didn't we?" Astra's voice became softer. "Not fully. The war continues." The Vorlak's team watched in silence. Realizing they stepped into something far bigger than they imagined, Cole turned toward them. "Again, you shouldn't have come here. The cryopods around." The room began glowing, one after another. More humans were waking up. The cold cryo chamber filled with the sound of pods, unlocking one after another. Frost drifted into the air like white smoke. The Vorlak soldiers stepped back as human warriors slowly woke up, coughing and breathing heavily as if returning from death. Sergeant Cole stood at the front, steadying himself. Even after 72 years, his stance was strong and disciplined. The humans looked around with confusion, then alertness, as they noticed the alien visitors. One soldier, a woman with dark hair and sharp eyes, pointed at the Vorlak's team. "Sergeant, who are they?" "Visitors," Cole replied, voice rough. "Uninvited." Captain Xylar forced himself to stay calm. "We did not come to fight. We only followed your distress signal." The female soldier narrowed her eyes. "Our message was for the Alliance, not for strangers." Astra stepped between the two sides. "Enough. The humans have just awakened. Tensions are expected. Both sides must listen." More pods opened. 6 humans now stood awake, wearing military uniforms with the Valkyrie emblem. Each carried a different type of weapon. Their bodies showed scars and marks of a brutal history. Xyla studied them closely. These humans were physically smaller than Vorlak's soldiers, yet there was something terrifying in their eyes. A fire, a determination that did not break. Even after decades of sleep, Sergeant Cole finally lowered his weapon, though his voice stayed guarded. "If you are not enemies, explain why you are here," Xyla responded carefully. "We received your distress call. For us it was a mystery. We came to learn who sent it and why." One human, a young man with a shaved head, laughed softly. "Well, now you know. Humans did. Surprise!" Astra turned toward the humans. "The Vorlak's empire is not known for kindness. Approach with caution." The humans exchanged looks, understanding the warning. Humanity had faced betrayal before. Cole straightened his shoulders. "Fine. If they are here, they deserve the truth." Xyla listened closely. Sensing something important was coming, Cole began, voice steady but heavy. "The Valkyrie was part of Earth's last defense line. We fought a machine race called the Obsidian Swarm. They didn't want our planets. They wanted to erase every human from existence." The Vorlak soldiers stiffened. "Machines that wanted extinction? That sounded like ancient horror tales." Commander Rith frowned. "We have no record of this swarm. If such a war happened, why is the galaxy unaware?" Cole's jaw tightened. "Because no one came to help us." Those words hit the room like a cold blade. Astra continued, "Humanity stood alone. Most believed humans were a young, weak species, not worth saving." Xyla felt a sting of guilt. Vorlak's records mentioned humans only once, as a primitive world still developing. Nothing about war, nothing about advanced ships. "How did you build a warship of this level?" Xyla asked. "Your race was not supposed to reach such technology yet." One of the human engineers, a man with glasses and oil-stained uniform, stepped forward. "We did not have a choice. When your enemy is unstoppable, you grow faster. You adapt, or you die," Astra nodded. "Humans evolve under pressure. They rise when others fall." The Vorlak soldiers began to realize something. Humans were not dangerous because of power. They were dangerous because they never gave up. Suddenly, a deep alarm echoed through the Valkyrie. Red lights flashed. "Warning, incoming vessel detected." Astra's expression changed. "Another ship is approaching." "Not Vorlak's." "Military signature." The humans quickly armed themselves. Cole turned to Astra. "Is it the swarm?" "No," Astra replied. "It is Vorlak's." The Vorlak soldiers looked at Xyla in shock. Xyla's communicator beeped. "Captain Xyla, this is Commander Vrax of the Vorlak's Warship Devourer. We detected your signal. Report." Xyla stepped aside and responded. "Commander, we found a human warship with survivors. Technology is—" Vrax cut him off. "A new species found. Excellent. Hold position. We are coming aboard. Capture samples if needed." Xyla froze. "Capture? These are living beings." Commander Vrax laughed coldly. "Do not be naive, Captain. If their technology is advanced, the High Council will want it. And them." The message ended. A heavy tension filled the room. The humans had heard everything. Sergeant Cole slowly turned his head and locked eyes with Xyla. "So that's your idea of peace." Xyla felt shame burn inside him. "I do not agree with him. I will not allow harm to come to you." One of Xyla's own soldiers whispered, "Captain, disobeying the Devourer is treason." Xyla replied quietly but firmly, "Then we will be traitors with honor." The humans watched him, surprised. Perhaps aliens had hearts after all. Astra faced the group. "The Devourer carries heavy weapons. If they board, they will attempt to take control of the Valkyrie." Cole placed his hand on a nearby console. "Then they won't board." Astra looked at him. "You know the risk." "I'm awake now," Cole answered. "Time to protect our ship," Rith asked, nervous. "What can one damaged human warship do against a Vorlak's destroyer?" Cole smiled, the kind of smile someone makes before doing something insane. You want to see something crazy. He pressed a series of commands on the console. The lights in the chamber changed from red to blue. The Valkyrie began to hum, not weak like before, but deeper, stronger, like a beast waking up with anger. Astra announced, "Valkyrie combat systems activating. Preparing gravity fold torpedo for demonstration." Xyla's eyes widened. "Gravity fold? That weapon is theoretical." "Not possible." Cole smirked. Not for humans. The Valkyrie vibrated as ancient power returned to its heart. A weapon no galaxy believed a young race could build was about to fire. The floor of the Valkyrie shook as its systems came online. Blue energy ran through the walls like lightning, returning to old veins. The warship that once drifted like a dead ghost now felt alive again, awake and angry. Sergeant Cole took a steady breath. Astra status? Astra's holographic form flickered beside him, glowing brighter than before. Core stability at 42%. Primary shields at 30%. Weapons online but limited. Cole nodded. Good enough to scare them. Captain Zyla watched in disbelief. Moments ago, this ship looked like a broken relic from the past. Now it hummed with power and purpose. Commander Rith stared at the data on his wrist scanner. This energy output. Valkyrie is generating more power than 3 Vorlax cruisers combined. The Vorlax soldier next to him whispered, "This should be impossible. Humans cannot build something like this." But the proof was all around them. A warning alert echoed, incoming transmission from Vorlax Warship Devourer. Astra displayed the message on a small projection. Commander Vrax appeared, tall, armored, and with the cold pride of someone who believed he could not lose. "Captain Zylar," Vrax said, voice sharp, "we detect power surges from the unknown ship. Are you attempting to activate it?" Zyla spoke with controlled anger. "Commander Vrax, the humans are alive. Their ship is not a threat unless we provoke them." Vrax smirked. "Everything unknown is a threat. I will board in 5 minutes. Do not resist." The transmission ended. Cole crossed his arms. "He thinks he can take this ship?" Zyla turned to him. "The Devourer is one of our strongest warships. If it fires on you..." Cole finished the sentence calmly. "We won't survive." "I know." Astra stepped forward. "If the Devourer boards us, they will take human technology by force. They will use it to conquer others. We cannot allow that." Zyla's soldiers hesitated. One finally spoke, voice shaky. "Captain, maybe we should leave before war begins." Zyla looked at his team with a stern gaze. "We came to help, and we will not stand by while an ally is attacked." The humans looked at Zyla with new eyes, not as an enemy, but as someone with honor. Astra's voice became firm. "Sergeant Cole, the gravity fold torpedo is ready, but firing it will drain our core." "How much?" Cole asked. 37%, Cole nodded. "Worth it." Rith stepped forward, fear and curiosity mixing in his expression. "What does this torpedo do?" Astra explained. "It bends space around the target and sends the projectile into a fold. Instead of hitting the ship directly, the weapon returns the target's own attack." Rith's jaw dropped. "It throws enemy fire back at them?" "Yes," Astra said. With interest, the humans and Vorlax moved to the command bridge. The room was dark at first, then screens lit up one by one. Human symbols, maps, and star charts filled the displays. A large window showed space outside, where the Devourer slowly approached, weapons armed. Human soldiers took their stations with muscle memory, as if they had never left this room. Their hands moved with purpose. They remembered everything. Astra began a countdown. Devourer within firing range in 10 seconds. Cole stood in the center. "Zyla, once this starts, there's no turning back. Are you ready to stand with us?" Zyla inhaled deeply. He thought of his people, his empire, and what was right. "I stand with what is honorable. And this," he looked at the humans, "is honorable." Cole gave a small, grateful nod. "Then stand tall." Astra spoke sharply. "Devourer has locked weapons on us." Outside, the massive Vorlax warship powered up its cannons, bright energy gathering at the tips. "Return fire?" a human soldier asked. Cole shook his head. "No, let them shoot first." The Vorlax boarding team watched in shock. "You want them to hit us?" Cole replied. "Trust me." Boom! A beam of energy shot from the Devourer straight toward the Valkyrie. It moved like a stream of pure destruction. Impact in 3, 2, 1. The Valkyrie shook as the beam struck, but instead of exploding, the energy twisted, bent, and stretched like pulled rubber. Space rippled around the ship. Astra's voice rang out, "Gravity fold activated!" The beam folded into a spiral and vanished. For a breath, space was silent, then, whoom. The same beam reappeared behind the Devourer, multiplied in strength, and slammed into the Vorlax warship's shields from behind. The Devourer spun from the impact, alarms flashing across its hull. A Vorlax soldier on the bridge gasped. "They reflected our attack?" Commander Vrax fell back in shock. "Impossible." Inside the Valkyrie, Cole crossed his arms. That was a warning shot. "Next one won't be," Astra added. "If we fire at full power, the Devourer will be destroyed." Xyla swallowed hard. Humans may not have been the strongest race, but they were the most unpredictable. Vrax sent another message, this time shaken and angry. "You dare attack a Vorlax destroyer? You will pay for this insult." Cole responded with cold calm. "You fired first. We just returned the gift." Astra looked at Cole. "Their boarding craft are launching. They still intend to board." Cole clenched his fists. "Then we hold the line." Xyla stepped forward. "Not just you. My soldiers will fight with you." Cole studied him for a moment, then nodded. "Welcome to the Valkyrie." The humans and Vorlax prepared for a battle inside the ship, but before the boarding crafts could reach them, a new alarm echoed across the bridge. Astra's expression changed. For the first time, she looked afraid. New contact detected. Unknown fleet arriving. The screen showed multiple dark shapes dropping out of hyperspace. Sharp, black, triangular ships, cold and silent. Xyla whispered, voice trembling, "Who are they?" Astra answered quietly, "Not Vorlax. Not friendly. The obsidian swarm has found us." Silence fell across the Valkyrie's bridge. The screens showed the dark fleet now surrounding them. Dozens of sharp, black ships floated in formation, their surfaces reflecting no light, almost as if space itself bent around them. The obsidian swarm had arrived. Sergeant Cole's expression hardened. "It's them! After all this time, they still hunt us." Xyla had seen many enemies in his life, but nothing made his heart feel this heavy. The swarm ships looked lifeless, like moving shadows in the shape of war. Commander Rith swallowed. "They look like machines." Astra stepped forward, voice low and steady. "They are, created for one purpose, to erase humanity forever." The Vorlax soldiers stared at the screens, fear spreading across their faces. They had thought the Devourer was the main danger. Now they understood how wrong they were. A transmission suddenly came through. No request. It forced itself onto every screen and speaker. A single symbol appeared, cold, black, and shifting like metal dust in the wind. No face, no emotion. Then a voice, metallic echoing and without feeling, spoke. "Human signatures detected. Directive remains unchanged. Eliminate the human species completely." The words were calm. Not angry, not loud. That made it even more terrifying. The voice continued, "Vorlax presence detected. Secondary directive, consume their world. Expand the swarm." Xyla's eyes widened. "Consume our world?" Sergeant Cole looked at Xyla. "They do not conquer planets. They eat them. Metal, stone, ocean, cities. Everything becomes part of them." Xyla stepped back, shaken. His homeworld, his family. No one would survive if the swarm reached them. On the Devourer, Commander Vrax watched the same message. For once, fear touched his proud eyes. He finally understood the threat. Astra interrupted the silence. "The swarm is charging a planet-killer weapon." Rith spun toward her. "Already? But they just arrived." Astra shook her head. "They prepared this attack long ago. The swarm never forgets. They never stop." "They calculated the most strategic world to destroy first," Cole asked. "Which world?" Astra pulled up a map. A red marker blinked, the Vorlax homeworld. Xyla felt the breath leave his chest. His blood seemed to freeze. "My people. Millions will die." Sergeant Cole turned to him, voice firm. "Now you understand why humanity fought alone. The swarm doesn't negotiate. They erase." Outside the window, one of the swarm's large ships, the size of a moon, began to open like a giant mechanical flower. Energy built inside it, gathering into a growing orb of black-red light. Astra gave the countdown. "Impact in 11 minutes." Captain Xyla felt helpless. His small exploration crew could do nothing. Even the Devourer was too weak to stop such a weapon. The Vorlax had never faced an enemy like this. Cole spoke quietly, as if making a difficult decision. "We need an alliance. Humans and Vorlax together. Zyla blinked. An alliance with us? After what my commander planned to do to you? Cole looked him in the eyes. Yes, because humans don't abandon others to die. Even those who abandon us, those words carried weight. They did not come from pride, but from truth. Zyla slowly nodded. Then you will help save my people? Cole extended his hand. If you stand with us, we stand with you. Zyla stared at the human's hand, feeling the weight of his choice. Siding with humans meant turning against his own high council, but saving his people. Zyla took the hand. We stand together, Astra spoke urgently. The Devourer is charging weapons to fight the swarm. But they are targeting the Valkyrie too. They still plan to board us to steal technology, Cole sighed. Vrax would rather steal human tech than save his own planet. Typical. Zyla clenched his jaw. Then we force him to listen. Astra opened a channel to the Devourer. Commander Vrax appeared. He looked furious and frightened at the same time. Cole spoke first. Vrax, listen carefully. If we don't work together, your planet will be destroyed. You need us, Vrax spat back. We do not need humans. Vorlax will win alone. Astra projected the energy countdown behind Cole. 9 minutes until your world is wiped out. Vrax hesitated for the first time. Zyla stepped in front of Cole. Commander, as a Vorlax officer, I request a temporary battle alliance with the humans. It is the only way. No, Vrax barked. We take their ship, take their technology, and use it ourselves. Cole interrupted, voice cold and sharp. You don't have time to learn our technology. You need us alive right now. Vrax's face twisted. He hated the truth. Suddenly, the swarm ships moved. Smaller drone fighters detached from the main vessels, hundreds of them. They shot toward both the Valkyrie and the Devourer like a swarm of dark insects. Astra sounded the alarm. Swarm attack incoming! They intend to disable both ships. Cole pointed forward. Astra, prepare the Valkyrie's anti-swarm defenses. Zyla shouted into the channel, Vrax, order your ships to defend. Fight with us! Vrax did not respond with words, but the Devourer turned, aiming cannons at the swarm fighters instead of the Valkyrie. It was not an alliance of trust, but of survival. Astra calculated quickly. If we destroy the weapon core of that moonship, the swarm will retreat. But we must hit the exact spot. Cole took a deep breath. Then we aim for the heart. Astra looked at the crew, human and Vorlax now side by side. This battle will decide the future of both your species. Outside, space exploded with the first clash of the three forces. The battle outside turned space into a storm of explosions and dark clouds. The obsidian swarm ships moved like predators, silent and perfectly synchronized. Their drone fighters tore through space, forcing both the Valkyrie and the Devourer to defend themselves side by side. Inside the Valkyrie, alarms flashed red. Astra's voice stayed calm, but her words carried urgency. Shields at 60%. Swarm drones are adapting to our defense patterns. Sergeant Cole gripped the rail beside him. They learn fast. Too fast. Zyla watched in disbelief as the swarm drones formed new attack shapes, targeting the weakest spots of both ships. The Vorlax soldiers on the Devourer seemed overwhelmed, unused to an enemy that changed tactics every minute. Astra pointed at the large moon-sized swarm ship in the distance. That is their command vessel. If we destroy its core, the entire attack collapses, Cole nodded. Then we get inside. And finish this. Zyla stared at him. Inside, you want to enter that thing, Astra answered for him. It's the only way. The swarm's outer armor is too strong for long-range weapons, but a strike team can reach the core. Zyla hesitated. A mission inside the swarm ship is suicide. Cole's eyes were steady. Someone has to do it. If we don't, both our worlds burn. Astra brought up a map of the swarm ship, cold black tunnels and shifting structures shaped like metal bones. Nothing looked natural. Nothing looked alive. Yet the ship pulsed like it had a heartbeat. Astra explained, there is a weakness. A small energy channel connects the outer shell to the core. If we enter through there, we may reach the heart. Cole turned to Zyla. I'm going. Are you? Zyla looked shaken, but he stood straighter. My people are at risk. I go with you. A small Vorlax squad, including 2 elite soldiers, volunteered. For the first time in history, humans and Vorlax prepared to fight together. Astra gathered gear for them. Once inside, you will have only 15 minutes. After that, the swarm will seal the core chamber forever. Cole gave a short smile. Plenty of time. But Xyla could see the tension in his eyes. The Valkyrie maneuvered through the battle, dodging black drones and swirling metal shards. At the right moment, Astra fired a concentrated blast at the moon ship's surface. The impact tore open a narrow crack, just large enough for a shuttle. Cole, Xyla, 2 Vorlax soldiers, and 2 human marines boarded the small combat shuttle. The door shut behind them with a metallic thud. Astra's voice came through the comms. You have 1 chance. Make it count. The shuttle flew directly into the crack. Darkness swallowed everything. Inside the swarm ship, there was no light source. Yet the material around them glowed faintly, like metal breathing. Xyla whispered, "This ship. It feels alive." The human marine beside him muttered, "Let's hope it doesn't try to eat us." The shuttle landed on a shifting surface. The door slid open, revealing a long corridor made of black metal that moved slightly, like muscles adjusting to their presence. Cole raised his weapon. "Stay close. No one wanders off." The team advanced. The corridor widened and narrowed randomly, forcing them to move in single file at times. Strange whispers echoed around them, like faraway voices repeating fragments of thoughts. One of the Vorlax soldiers froze. "Do you hear that?" "It's speaking in my language." A moment later, the human marine stiffened. "Now it's speaking in mine." The ship wasn't just metal, it was reading their minds. Cole kept moving. "Ignore it. It's trying to break our focus." A deep growl echoed through the walls. Shapes crawled from the dark, small swarm beasts made of sharp metal limbs. Their bodies bent like twisted machines, eyes glowing dim red. Xyla raised his weapon. "Contact!" The creatures lunged. The hallway exploded into chaos. Cole and the human marines fired precise bursts, tearing through the metal beasts. The Vorlax soldiers used energy blades, slicing clean through the enemy. Sparks and black fluid sprayed the walls, which absorbed the liquid instantly. Xyla covered Cole's back. "More coming from the right." Cole ducked and shot one through the head. "Then keep moving. We can't fight them all." After a long struggle, the creatures fell silent. The walls closed behind them, sealing the path. Astra's voice crackled through the comms, weak and distorted. "Minutes left. The swarm ship is adapting. Hurry!" The team ran deeper into the tunnels. Finally, the corridor opened into a massive chamber. At the center floated a pulsing black sphere, the core. It looked like a heart made of metal and dark energy, sending out waves that shook the air. Xyla felt dread wash over him. "That thing powers their entire attack." Cole nodded. "And we're here to stop it." As Cole prepared the explosive charge, something massive unfolded from the shadows behind the core, a swarm guardian, twice the size of a human, built like a nightmare, 4 legs, 2 bladed arms, and a face of shifting metal with a single burning red eye. It growled, shaking the floor. Cole whispered, "We knew this wouldn't be easy." The Guardian lunged. The Swarm Guardian charged with a metallic roar, blades slicing through the air. Cole barely rolled aside as the creature's strike smashed into the ground, sending sparks across the chamber. "Keep it away from the core." Cole shouted. The 2 human marines opened fire, bullets bouncing off the Guardian's armor. The Vorlax soldiers leaped forward with energy blades, striking the creature's limbs. Their attacks left glowing marks, but the Guardian healed instantly, metal knitting back together. Xyla realized with horror, it repairs itself. Every second. Cole gritted his teeth. "Then we hit it faster than it can heal." The Guardian swung its bladed arm, striking one of the Vorlax soldiers in the chest. The impact threw him across the room. He hit the wall hard and didn't move again. Xyla's heart tightened, but there was no time to mourn. The creature lunged for Cole. Xyla stepped between them, firing at point-blank range into its eye. The shot burned deep, and for a moment the Guardian staggered. Cole met Xyla's eyes. Nice shot, but the Guardian recovered, roaring louder. Astra's faint voice came through the comms, distorted, like the ship was choking the signal. 5 minutes. Before core seal. Closes forever. They were running out of time. Cole pulled out a cylindrical explosive charge, no bigger than his hand. Lights blinked along its surface, waiting for activation. This is the only explosive strong enough to destroy the core, he said. Once it's armed, we'll have 60 seconds to escape. Zyla's throat tightened. Can we escape in time? Cole didn't answer. The Guardian attacked again. One human Marine tried to shield Cole and was slashed across the back, falling to the ground. Cole grabbed the soldier's arm and dragged him toward cover. The wounded Marine gasped. Leave me. Cole shook his head. Not happening. Zyla saw it. Humans refused to abandon anyone. Even here, with a battle cry, Zylar and the last Vorlax soldier charged the Guardian from opposite sides. Their blades slashed together. The creature screeched, staggering as both weapons struck its joints. Cole, now! Zyla shouted. Cole slammed the explosive into a slot on the core's surface. Lights flashed red. Charge armed, he yelled. 60 seconds. The core pulsed violently, sensing danger. The entire chamber shook. Walls shifted, closing off exits. The swarm Guardian went wild, striking in all directions. It slashed the last Vorlax soldier, who fell instantly. Zylar now stood alone with the humans. Cole tried to pull the injured Marine to the exit, but the path sealed shut. Only one escape tunnel remained. Zyla grabbed the Marine's other arm. Together he and Cole dragged him forward. The Guardian blocked the remaining exit. Zyla whispered, "We won't all make it." Cole tightened his grip on the Marine. "Everyone goes home. That's the rule." Zyla looked at the Marine, bleeding, barely conscious. Then he looked at Cole, who had carried hope across a universe alone. Zylar made a choice. He stepped forward, blocking Cole's path with his arm. "Your rule is noble," he said softly. "But sometimes, someone must stay behind to keep that hope alive." Cole's eyes widened. "Zylar, don't—" Zylar pushed Cole and the Marine toward the exit tunnel with all his strength. "You saved my world today," Zylar said. "Let me save yours." Before Cole could stop him, the walls slid, separating them. Cole slammed his fist against the barrier. "Zylar, we do this together." Zylar turned toward the Guardian, lifting his blade. Together, in spirit, he sprinted at the creature, shouting a battle cry that echoed across the chamber. The Guardian lunged. Zylar dodged, stabbed deep into the creature's damaged joint, and held it in place as the core's countdown reached its final seconds. Cole heard the final words through the wall, Zyla's voice strong and fearless. "For my people, and for humanity." Then a blinding light consumed the chamber. The Valkyrie escaped the swarm ship, just as it exploded from within. The shockwaves spread across space, ripping apart swarm drones and disabling the entire fleet. The Devourer, damaged but operational, fired its cannons in support. Astra sighed with relief. "The core is destroyed. The swarm is retreating." Cole sat in silence, staring at the window, at the fading explosion where Zyla had made his final stand. The Devourer opened a channel. Commander Vrax appeared, but his voice had changed. There was no arrogance now, only respect. "Sergeant Cole," Vrax said, "your warrior gave his life to protect us. The Vorlax owe humanity a debt that can never be repaid." Cole nodded slowly. "He was one of us in the end." Vrax bowed his head. "From this day, humanity is no longer alone. We stand with you." For the first time, the words felt real. Later, as the Valkyrie recovered, Astra examined the remaining data they captured from the swarm core. Her expression slowly changed, from relief to concern, Cole noticed. "What is it?" Astra turned to him, voice low. "This swarm fleet was not the main force." Cole froze. "What do you mean?" "We destroyed their command vessel." Astra shook her head. "This was only a scout division, one small branch of a much larger network." She projected a star map. Thousands of red markers appeared, spread across distant galaxies. Cole stared at the map, then out into the dark of space. The war was not over. It had only just begun, he whispered, almost to himself. Humanity might need more than one galaxy to survive. A faint smile touched his face, sad but determined, and if Xylus saw this, he'd say we fight anyway. The stars outside seemed endless. But the Valkyrie moved forward. Humanity was no longer afraid.